move to something very key, and one of the conversations that we were having over the period of time, and that is the issue of the things happening in Niger Republic. And we know that the media at all times is supposed to be the one informing the public and giving the concise and precise information about what's happening any given time. And also the media also supposed to be like the people that serve as checkers for the government at every place, in every known crime. But as the media have so far been doing the right thing, even for Niger Republic, joining us to talk about this conversation, and joining us virtually, is Ambassador Chris Iyama. And let me tell you that this is very, very special. He is the country director, Equity International Initiative, and also the team leader of LA and CYPA Africa Diplomatic Peace Mission to Niger Republic. Good morning, Ambassador. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, everyone of you in the studio.
Good
I'm
morning.
good.
To
see if you can see me very well.
Yes, we can see you. We can see you, and you are doing well. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. We want to just start now. I want to what extent has the media really played this role concerning sending the right information, knowing that information is what the people digest. Like our dear man of God said, he says that a man is what he sees, what he hears, what he thinks, and what he does. Has the media really played this role in the crisis that happened in Niger Republic?
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to be in your studio this morning. Though I'm joining virtually, of course, you know that.
Yeah.
I just hope that you can hear me very loud and clear.
Loud and
very clearly.
Yes, very clear.
Oh, okay. So first, you see, there's what you call, there's something Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie once said in one of her books. She described it as something danger of a single story.
Yeah.
What is happening currently in Niger is the danger. It can be described as the danger of single story narrative. Before now, I'm sure the idea that most of you would have, including me, would be that, oh, Niger people are suffering. This is going on in Niger. They are even France is helping them and all these kind of things. But you see, when we landed in Niger about 3 days ago, we found out that most of the narrative being painted by the Western is a false narrative.
Wow.
I can tell you for free that the people of Niger are not poor as the world wants to make us to believe. How can you even describe the fact that we paid 1.4 million, 26,000 to get 1 million CFA? Is that a poor country?
Exchange rate.
CFA has more value than the Nigerian naira. In fact, CFA at the moment is trying to compete American dollar.
Wow.
Because one CFA is 600. One CFA is $1 CFA. And in Nigerian currency, that should be around 650 naira. How much is a dollar? How much is naira to dollar or dollar to naira? It's about 1,000 or sometimes 950, 850.
Yes.
Good. Now, you have the dimension of coups in Niger. I'm going somewhere.
Yes.
Are you aware Niger from primary to secondary are all free?
Wow.
Education.
Are you also aware? Education is free in Niger. Are you also aware that the university students about 120,000 CFA every three months just to go to school?
Some kind
Are
of
you also
bursary.
aware?
Yeah.
Yes. Are you also aware that the secondary school students receive about 20 to 25,000 CFA every 3 months too as form of bursary? Are you also aware that primary receive about 5 to 6,000 to 10,000 CFA as bursary every 3 months? Are you also aware that they feed these people in their schools? The shocking thing is that those people that are non-citizens of Niger also go to school free in Niger,
Wow.
bursaries,
Interesting.
but they receive free textbooks, everything that is entitled to the Nigerian citizens.
Wow.
What is the challenge in what are the challenges in Niger? I'll put it forward to you. I wish that there was a soundbite of a particular video that because yesterday we went out around 10 to 11 p.m. in the night.
Chris,
Yeah.
just to you brought out some very, very startling facts.
Yes.
Very, very startling facts.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, why are these facts not coming out? Niger is just our neighbor here, and in the last 3 days, you stumbled on this information that has been in existence over the years. Why do you think this is not coming out to the world?
Okay, simple. I'll give you an experience. My experience with the Niger's media. They do not know how to tell their story.
Wow.
And Niger is quite expensive, very expensive. Do you know that to bring a journalist to Niger, to bring a journalist to your program in Niger, you will spend at least 250,000 CFA, at least 150,000 CFA. And most of the agencies working in Niger cannot afford to pay the media fees. And a lot of times, the people that afford these people are organizations that are related to the French. So we have French-sponsored media in Niger.
Yeah.
So they release information that is authorized by French as far as the French can pay for that information. The only thing is that they are meant to. The only thing is that they are meant to tell the narrative, the stories of the French people instead of the Nigerian people. Let me go straight to the issue, because I remember when we just finished organizing an international expert dialogue to understand the issues in Niger, where we brought in stakeholders from academia, from public policy practitioners, from civil society organizations, from the media.
Yes.
As I'm talking to you, are you aware that the media, even though we came to help them to tell the story of Niger, are you aware? It's shocking now that they have refused to air the opinions of the Nigerian, because we cannot afford to give them about 1 million CFA. That is about 1.4 million, 60,000 naira. They told us, pop and plain, that some other national organizations are willing to pay more than what they are even requesting from us.
Wow.
Well,
So, are you seeing the problem in Niger?
Wow.
The people of Niger, they are not telling you, they are not telling us that they are suffering. 1,000 times no. They are telling us that the government of the former government of Bazoum, that they don't like the government, that they are practicing democracy, yet it is looking like authoritarian kind of system.
okay.
They are saying that not that is a kind of a challenge to them, but the fact that in a democracy you have the freedom to speak, you have the freedom of association, you have the freedom of convergence, you have the freedom of the press. But why is it that of democracy they are practicing, the moment you talk or criticize the government, you will go missing?
Okay.
As I'm talking to you, there are so many prominent voices in Niger that have gone missing because they challenge the authority of the Bazoum's government. So another thing again is that even as a lecturer in the university, you are given a curriculum to teach people, and in such curriculum, you must not mention anything bad about the government.
Wow.
Whether you are teaching mathematics, English, government, history, or whatever, anything you are teaching, you must not say anything negative about the government. What are the real issues again? The real issue again is that between I think from the past 40 or 50, the Nigerian government have signed about 5 agreements with the French people. Out of this agreement, about four of these agreements happened under one administration, like a family business.
Wow.
And secondly, the coup that so far have been taking place in Niger, all the 4 or 5 coups so far have been sponsored by the French government. The reason is that any time that any administration comes on board and tries not to follow the agreement signed by the French and the Nigerian rulers, the French somehow coup d'etat and then ask a particular president or head of state to ensure that they follow the script. This is the only coup that has ever happened that has the 101 support of the people without the interference of the France government, and it came to the French as a very big surprise. And that is the reason why the French government, by all means, are trying to paint a very negative picture of Niger. Of the coupists. You are aware that
Ambassador, what you're trying to tell us now is that there is some kind of general acceptance of what has happened in Niger, and the people are happy. You can say they are happy with what is going on, because recently a man of God made it clear that we should not stay from outside and cast aspersions on what is going on in another country without necessarily understanding what the generality of the people are going through. So you're telling us presently that the people are in tandem with the government.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Now, every day for the past 40 days, because we were at the French military base yesterday to monitor the rallies that have been going on, every blessed day for the past 40 days, thousands of Nigerians have been trooping out to the French military base, holding carnival, holding rallies, asking the French people to leave their country. That normally they ought to invite them to their country, but in this instance they are telling them enough is enough, go. How can you cite your military base in the center of the city?
But we're not even seeing this in the media.
Right.
You're not seeing this in the media. In fact, as you're entering Niger, the moment the immigration clears you, the first thing you'll be seen by the side is the French military base, bigger than the airport, 3 times bigger than the airport in Miami.
Wow.
Now you're also seeing the fact that the French government, most of the agreements signed, tends to favor the France government or the French government in such a way that even the union that they are talking about, 70% or 70 to 80% of that natural resources goes to the French government. In fact, the French government has the first right of refusal.
Those things. Yes, I'm going to This thing you are saying right now, it's something like, that's why you were saying, but over the period, like what it said in psychology, the Pavlov's law of conditioning, the people have been conditioned, the leaders have been conditioned to be servants over the time and answering only to France. But now the people are saying that we don't want to do that anymore and we want a voice. So want a voice. What can be done to really, really amplify the true events that are happening, like an insider event, insider approach? Because people need to know what's going on much more like this.
That is the reason why media organizations like and some other conventional media, inconvenience themselves, go to Niger, even though it is something difficult to get the real story, to get the real facts. Are you aware that most Nigerian media houses have been blocked? The conventional media houses in Nigeria have been blocked from going to Niger by ECOWAS and by the African Union, being sponsored by the French government. It took us over 3 days to get to Niger because we used a very thick forest. We couldn't, well, even though they granted us access pass from the border between Katsina and Niger. When we got to the border, we were not allowed entry. We had to use the forest in the middle of the night to access Niger. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
We can hear you.
Loud and
We
clear.
can hear you.
Please go on.
Yes, we had to use the forest to access, and for every place we passed, we had a lot of challenges. It took us 3 good days to enter Niger. So, for you guys in the media, are you ready to get involved with what is happening? In fact, when we got to the protest ground, the people were so happy. They asked us, "Come, where are you from?" We told them we are from Nigeria. They said, "Oh, Nigeria, Niger, we are brothers." It's just that they don't like what the President Tinubu is doing. They don't like what ECOWAS is doing, and that come on, why would that? Listen. This in Niger, 3 out of every family you have. The ratio is let's say 10. 5 out of 10 are married to Nigerian people. The secretary to the Honorable Minister of Information, who happens to be the spokesperson of the Nigerian government, the mother is from Ibadan or your state.
Wow.
That is how you have most of them like that in Niger. And when we're talking with hold on, please. Let me just land briefly. When we're talking with the Minister of Information, the spokesperson of the government, he told us, he lamented that, can you imagine that during the Nigerian Biafran War, Niger provided Nigeria support. And that even the early days of the Boko Haram in Nigeria, he was fighting at the Lake Chad Basin for over 7 years.
True.
That they were shocked. They were
Very
shocked.
true. Very
when
true.
Nigerian government all of a sudden took a decision without even trying to hear from them because of French influence in ECOWAS. To describe that.
Amazing. Okay, so
those are the issues.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so I was going to ask you, I've been wondering why there's so much interest from the US and the Western world in what's happening in Niger. And you have mentioned that for a media person or a journalist to be able to come out in Niger to actually say what's happening, they spend a certain amount of money. So I want to understand, is it that the country do not have enough resources for that? Or are there external forces that are actually involved in trying to silence the progressive voices in Niger?
Niger is quite expensive. It's one of the most expensive countries in Africa, in spite of the fact that they have 25 or 26 million population, 26.5 million population. The problem is the influence of Western countries in Niger. Let me ask you a question. Let's say you have a function. I come to meet you. I say, please, I have a function. I say, please, how much are you going to pay? How much can we pay for you to have this? And while we're negotiating for ₦1 million, somebody who has the interest of France comes and say, I'm going to pay you 5 times what somebody is offering you, what I'm offering you. What are you going to do?
Wow.
It only takes integrity for you to in your position because you want to sell the right narrative.
That's true.
Right.
I can tell you for free that most of the media houses in Niger are sponsored by the French government. They do not want to entertain dissenting opinions or any other opinion that is not French related. And it's quite unfortunate that successive administration in Niger have not been able to realize that they have been selling their own people because of this cheap doing. So let me tell you something. I've never seen a coup that is being supported by the people, like what we are seeing currently in Niger.
Right.
You said that you are in my country, and I'm telling you that your time is up, go. And you are saying, no, I cannot expel you. That I don't have the legal to not come through civilian means and all that. Let me tell you, the government in Niger currently has the legitimacy of the people. And
Yes.
it is high time ECOWAS, African Union, and other blocs begin to respect the wishes of the Nigerian people. Am I saying that it is good to have a coup d'etat? No, that's what I'm saying. Saying that, however, it is a bloodless coup. The military government are saying, give us time. We want to reorganize what democracy and what governance should be all about. And I think that ECOWAS and other blocs must respect them. You cannot be placing sanctions on one hand, and on the other hand, you are frustrating the people of Niger. As I'm talking to you, the people of Niger, the government of Niger are constructing, I think, a dam. And let me tell you, the moment they are done with that, in the next 6 months or 1 year, they'll be done with that dam. And when they are done with that dam, they'll be having electricity 24/7 because they have partial electricity supply from Nigeria. And,
Yeah.
because of all these things, the Nigerian government, they have cut off the supply. And they are lamenting seriously. It's affecting, when you cut off electricity supply, who is it affecting? Is it affecting the military juntas? No, it's affecting the average Nigerian people on the streets, the average baba, the average person that runs small and medium scale enterprise. The government house and so many ministries in Niger, they receive power. Their generators even affecting them. So when taking up this, you must also learn to consider the people, because you are saying that you cannot shave a man's hair in his absence.
Yes.
The man must be seated before you are able to shave his hair.
Very
What
true.
ECOWAS, African Union, the French government are doing is to shave the hair of the Nigerian people in their absence. You must bring the Nigerian people to the table and ask them, what exactly do you want? What is your opinion? 99.9%, if not 100% of the Nigerian people are in total support of the coup that took place in Niger. And do you know that since the coup, the average response on the street is that they are free once again. They are free.
Wow.
They can do what they need to do. They are free. It's like they got another independence from the independence that they were enjoying before. You need to see freedom all around the street. Somebody is even willing to pay for whatever you need to buy, whatever you need, just because they are happy. We need to start telling these stories. What the stories out there is danger. Is a great danger for Africa people, and the truth of the matter is, if we continue like this, the Western influences will continue to ride over the average Africans. Listen, the problem in Niger is not just the problem for Niger; it's the problem affecting every African countries, and most African countries have signed agreements. Look at the trade deal. How many of those trade deals are favoring most African countries? How many of them?
That's
You go
true.
to the United Nations General Assembly, you go to ECOWAS Assembly, you go to AU, you go to the BRICS and the so-called BRICS and some of them. How many of them have the interest of Africa at hand? No, they don't. They are only trying to see where they can rip off Africa. And African leaders are not realizing this.
Thank you so much.
The current military coup are saying that we need to renegotiate this agreement for the interest of the Nigerian people.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Chris Iyama. Thank you. We can see how passionate you are, and because one of the things that Diamond have told us is Africa is not for sale. We truly stand and say of a truth, Niger is not for sale, and no country in Africa is what's being sold for anything at all. Thank you for joining us today and giving us the true insiders, everything, conversation, all the things that are happening in Niger. And we also wish you safety while you are there and until you return back to Nigeria. Love you. Have a great day, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And very, very interesting conversation that we've had. And we know of a truth that our dear man of God was right all along.